Good evening. I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at StockMarketMentor.com on Wednesday, and it's October 9th. I want to look at Priceline today. You know, a lot of stocks bounced. They've been coming down for quite a while. Well, it seems like it anyway. It's actually been just for a few days. But there were a lot of stocks that rebounded off key moving averages, and I thought I'd look at Priceline here and point out, well, not some flaws. I mean, it just is what it is, to use a very, very overused phrase. Unbelievable how many things are what they are. But as far as this being like a super convincing turnaround, I mean the kind that you just want to rush in there and grab everything you can with both hands. That's not really this chart, at least it's not to me, for a few different reasons. First of all, what you want to look for, what you want to see in a stock that gives you literally like, I got to buy this stock right now because the puking is pretty much over and now we're going to have a puking rally here. The first thing, sorry for that bad visual, but that's just me. The first thing that you want to see is heavy volume. You know, I want to see really, really high volume, but that volume needs to be accompanied by a long tail. You know, I mean, something that really shows like an intraday reversal. I mean, the same day reversal, a stock that after a couple, 2-3 days, just really smashes down in one day on high volume and then reverses on the same day. And what that tells you is that at some magical moment during the day, the selling was pretty much over. It just got exhausted, but during the day, I'm not just talking about like a gap and bounce. I'm talking about during the day, the volume just really ramps up as selling takes over the stock, ultimately kind of crescendos, and then the stock reverses. That's a really nice intraday reversal that you look at and say, wow, that's pretty tradable. I don't think we really have that here. I think if I had to, you know, gun to head, thank you, no, but I would be buying as opposed to selling right now because the stock's come down so much. It's right at a key moving average, but this would really be my my trade. When we're looking at the weekly chart, you can see it's still really extended. I mean, Priceline's still really extended. Looks to me like it's really reversing on this weekly chart. It's reversing this move. It's just about swamped this last week and the week before. So it's really, you know, overcome the last 2 weeks of trading to the downside. But if we go back to the daily chart and actually look intraday, and I'm talking about, you know, like a short-term trade here, you can see the daily action. Okay, the stock, you know, opened up here, and this is when, you know, it really traded down. Really traded down here. Volume was pretty high, but it didn't trade down far enough to really make that long tail that I'm talking about. But then the stock kind of rallied up, as most stocks did during the middle of the day. But then it's just kind of drifted and fallen lower. So my point is, even though you look at the daily chart and think, wow, this stock, I got to buy it. When I look at the intraday chart, I really see resistance right here. And I would rather be, and then of course this is where the stock had closed. I would be more inclined to hang tight on this until I see, if you see another big massive crescendo sell-off, which is probably not likely to happen because we did get a little sell-off here, just not enough to really amount to much. But if we did get a big sell-off, then that would be your buying opportunity. But I think, frankly, the better buy, even though you're giving up 11 points, would be to see what happens when the stock breaks $1,000, because this is some really serious resistance here. So you can go ahead and trade this stock if you want, but it's got to be kind of a really short-term, really short-term trade. And if you're going to make a short-term trade, I would rather trade on a breakout than I would try to catch the bottom. But again, the thing that's really important to remember is just this weekly chart. This stock looks like it has more to go on the downside, and frankly, notwithstanding what I just said about buying a breakout, what I would really love to see is Priceline rally up to like 10.10, maybe 10.20, somewhere in there, and then start rolling over. That would be my key to get a short sale off on this stock. So anyway, there's a bunch of different ways to trade this stock. So I hope that helps. Members, over to the strategy session. We actually had quite a few price alerts today, so I want to be going through those and explain how these things work a little more clearly. So I'll see you there.